Rudy Giuliani, former New York City mayor and close friend of Donald Trump, made a trip up to Syracuse today to promote his son's campaign. Andrew Giuliani, Rudy's son, is running for governor of New York. Good evening, everyone. I'm Amanda Hull. We're glad to have you with us. Meanwhile, Rudy Giuliani has been making national headlines for his potential involvement in the January 6th attack on our Capitol. Today, our Samantha Crossan attended the press conference and was able to ask Rudy Giuliani some questions about these allegations and hear more about his son's campaign. She joins us now with the details tonight.
Rudy Giuliani held a news conference here at Syracuse City Hall and attended the Polish Fest at Clinton Square, campaigning for his son as he makes national headlines for his alleged role in the January 6th insurrection. When Rudy Giuliani took the stage at Polish Fest Sunday afternoon, some cheered him on. Others... The mixed reactions come as the January 6th committee hearings mention him as a leader in planning former President Donald Trump's attempt to overturn the 2020 election.
January 6th was terrible. Anyone who hurt a police officer should be prosecuted for it. But let's make a distinction. Not a single person protesting for the president on January 6th had a gun. They didn't capture one gun.
That is actually a lie, one that has been repeated by many and has been proven wrong. In fact, just this past Friday on June 17th, an Indiana man pled guilty in federal court and admitted he had a loaded firearm on Capitol grounds on January 6th and was there to disrupt the official count of electoral ballots. Rudy Giuliani was in Syracuse campaigning for his son Andrew, a Republican who is running for governor of New York.
He's going to do a 15% across-the-board cut, which worked for Reagan, which worked for Trump. He'll get our spending down, and will quickly deliver real tax cuts.
Yet some of his campaign efforts were overshadowed by the January 6th committee hearings that allege he was drunk on election night and advised then-President Trump to declare victory, an allegation which he has continued to deny. The committee also found that $250 million in donations from supporters to Donald Trump's legal defense fund to, quote, stop the steal, never went to any of his court cases. I asked Giuliani what he says to those Trump supporters who donated money.
I think a lot of that went to the Republican National Committee. I'm pretty sure it did. And they have all sorts of priorities and all kinds of ways they define defense. You know, people putting out ads, people explaining that he's innocent. People, they're going to have to explain that. That certainly doesn't involve the president.
Giuliani is on an upstate New York swing as he campaigns for his son. He's also making stops at Watertown and Utica tomorrow.
Good morning to you and welcome back to Weekend Today in Central New York. I'm joined this morning by Lieutenant Malinowski with the Syracuse Police Department. Lieutenant Malinowski, thanks for being here.
Of course, I appreciate the opportunity to keep our community informed, so thank you.
So the Sheriff's Department is getting body cameras. Would you be able to talk about the impact body cameras have on police departments and if you've seen a difference with SPD since you guys do have cameras?
Yeah, sure. So I saw that in the news. That's going along with what we've seen in a national trend with all law enforcement trying to obtain body cameras for their officers. We found here in Syracuse to be a great benefit. We haven't really seen much in the way of a downside into that. But the one thing about body cameras that people need to understand, it tells part of the story, not the whole picture, because the body camera sits typically here on the chest of the officer, and it records this way. What people have to understand is that the head, it can move. There's a lot going on just beyond what the body camera can see. So even though that we have body cameras, we just have to understand that it tells part of the story. It definitely helps capture an incident, but it's not the whole picture. And that's why when we do investigations, we don't purely just go off body camera footage. We go off of what witnesses say, surveillance camera footage. We have cops cameras that are throughout the city. And then we piece all that together to show the whole incident. But we do understand that the value of body cameras have definitely been very important to us.
Definitely something important for the public to be aware of. And during the summer months, people tend to open their car windows as they're driving down the road and their home windows as well. And there are some sound level laws that people should be aware of. What are those in the city of Syracuse?
Yeah, so all the quality of life issues that we do try to address, one of the things that we definitely get all the time is loud music. Now, we're not trying to say that you're playing your favorite song and your car windows are down if it's reasonable. But there is a law here in Syracuse. Not sure about all the surrounding municipalities, but if your music is so loud that it can be heard more than 3 car lengths away in excess, that's technically a violation that you can be ticketed for. But, again, we don't want to get to that level, but we've all probably heard it. This vehicle that can be heard from 10 blocks away with its, the bass is so loud, it's knocking stuff off the shelves in your home. We're asking people to please avoid that activity because, again, we live in a city. We're all close together. So please enjoy your own music, but it doesn't mean that we all have to suffer from loud music. So just understand, if it can be heard more in excess of 3 car lengths away, it's probably too loud. You can just turn that down a little bit. We'd appreciate that. And it's the same thing like for houses. So if you're playing music out of your house and it can be heard from several houses away, that's going to be a little bit too loud. And again, if people call the police, that's something that we'll have to respond to, and you can technically get a ticket for. But again, we're trying to avoid that and just getting information out to people. Again, enjoy your music, but it's really meant for you, not for the whole community.
So when people are out there barbecuing and enjoying the summer weather, it's just definitely important to be aware of how loud your sound is going.
Of course, yes, that's all we ask, if you can just be reasonable. But if your neighbors don't mind and they all enjoy the same song, then turn it up together. But if someone asks you to turn it down, you just got to be partially respectful.
Sounds great. Well, Lieutenant Malinowski, thank you so much for joining me here this morning.